Thank you firstly to our presenters for making the time available to share their experiences, and to all of you who have dialed in. NGTAG, we've been going for well over 12 months now. We exist to support Australian industry and government through enhanced supply chain traceability in trade. And the way we do it is through sessions like this, sharing experiences, sharing learnings. And through that, we're looking to get better outcomes for all of us around traceability. We're increasing in membership, and I've got some news later towards the end of the meeting just about a really exciting announcement today. It's a really great initiative, and really encouraged by the openness of the conversations, the enthusiasm and passion of all participants about improving traceability. And just a little bit about the NGTAG ecosystem in looking across whether it's the consumer, supply chain or logistics, regulation, certificate and certifications, as well as sustainability and the circular economy. It's all about product safety, product quality and product authenticity. And we're focused on across a number of sectors. So that's a little brief remarks about NGTAG, and it's really good that the interest that we're seeing has warranted to have this as an open session, and seeing the numbers that we've got today is incredibly encouraging. So location. That's the topic of today. Yeah, it's the secret ingredient for successful freight, supply chain and traceability systems. And so what we're going to walk through today is just how various people are using GLNs to better control their supply chain. So I suppose if we go to the next slide, Mel, it's just, this has been my potted explanation what a GLN is and what does it all mean. So what does location master data matter? Well, it's because business requires a way to connect, and because the who and where things happen matter. It's just as important in a lot of respects around the quality data that we normally associate with products. And we've got the little slide there that talks about the iceberg. That's very much the case with location master data. All the information that can sit underneath a very simple identification. So we need a standardised approach around third-party and location solutions. That's why it's needed. The solution that we're promoting and supporting and endorsing is the GS1 Global Location Number, or the GLN. And it's the standard used to uniquely identify physical locations. So think of it as the GTINs of locations, which assumes that everyone on the call is very familiar with GTINs. But it's, equally importantly, it's based on global standards and supported by GS1 both globally and locally. It's applicable and used across many sectors, and it's recognised as best practice in many sectors for location identification. And through the course of today's session, you're going to hear some examples of those best practices. It is simple and it's easy to implement, and it's able to be encoded in certain GS1 barcodes, and it can also be used to support B2B messaging and a whole range of applications. And as we'll hear later today, for Australia, it's supported by a local registry, the National Location Registry. So the result of all that is we've got the location identification and the location master data. We're using the GLN to uniquely identify a location and the sort of things that you can capture. And as I said, just think of this as the tip of the iceberg, but just say from a driver and transport consideration, this is the sort of information that you can start capturing against that GLN. So that unique identification backed by ISO standards in control of the owner of location. I think that's an important point, because that means you've got a better chance for accuracy of the data and more timeliness of the data. But all of that, the result should be a more effective supply chain visibility for all involved, and a better safety outcome, and a more productive outcome for all involved. So hopefully that is my 3-minute summary of a GLN. Now to the content. I'll hand over now to David Hazelhurst, and thank you, David. David is the Deputy Secretary at the Department of Agriculture, Water and the Environment. And I also note on LinkedIn, David, if that's to be trusted, that you spent a bit of time in the Digital Transformation Office. So I'm sure the sort of things that we're going to be talking about today are very familiar and dear to you. So, David, thank you, and I'll let you take over.
Terrific. Thanks very much, David, for that intro, and good morning, everybody. Consistent with the location title, let me just briefly follow up Marcel's acknowledgement of country to acknowledge the lands that a number of colleagues are joining the meeting from today, which is the lands of the Ngunnawal people. And in their language, say, Dauranuna, Dauranunawal, Yangu, Nala Minyan, Dunaminyan, Nunawawari, Daurawari, Dindi, Wangara Liginin, which means this is Ngunnawal country. Today we are meeting on Ngunnawal country and we pay our respects to the elders. I'm very pleased to be back. This is my second meeting of the group, and I'm very, very pleased to be able to join you today. Of course, as everyone well knows, it's a great opportunity to discuss cross-industry issues and to collaborate and open up the opportunity for additional relationships to be formed. And terrific that we're discussing a topic today that's it's a nice focus on location data for products, properties, and for people. And of course, whether you're a producer, a retailer, or a policymaker or a regulator, we all know that traceability goes beyond just product identification, and that, again, we all know that how and where something moves and who's responsible for it is also critical information commercially, but also from a regulatory point of view. We see that, of course, even most recently in relation to COVID related issues. There's many initiatives running across industry and across government and levels of government that are going to testing and improving the use of location and logistics data, from global location numbers through to property identification codes. The range is very extensive. I could spend some time talking about work that my department does to support a national property identification working group, but I know that my colleague from Victoria, Caroline, will be speaking on related themes later in the meeting, so I'll leave it to you, Caroline. I won't steal any of your thunder. But I guess I just want to reinforce how terrific forums like these are, and congratulate all involved, and obviously including GS1, for fostering this national approach. And it's terrific to have lots of case studies we can learn from and inform our own attempts at best practice. So with that, let me turn to introducing our international guest speaker for today, Senor Jose Miso Reyes. Bienvenidos. Welcome to you, Jose. I'm sure others join me in saying a very warm welcome and thank you for joining us to share your experiences. We know that you're a systems engineer specialising in production and industrial engineering, as well as being a professor of logistics and simulation, and that you've led a number of urban and territorial planning projects throughout Colombia over the last 15 years. And these include a significant focus on planning for food supply and food safety. And now I believe you're the Director of Planning and Project Management for the Food Security and Rural Development Program. So we're really thrilled that you could join us today, and we look forward to hearing about the progress that you've made in implementing the food supply plan for Colombia's central region, and particularly your use of the information system called SUMERSI. I've got to pronounce that right. And very interested to hear the ability of the system to incorporate varying logistical concepts and data to better coordinate food supply and demand. So we're thinking this will be a terrific case study. So with that, can I welcome you to the stage, so to speak, Jose, and thank you very much again for joining us.